Today, we'll be doing a review of the TCL 6 Series 2021 or the R646. We'll be evaluating it on our standardized test bench to see how it performs and if you should buy it. We bought and tested the 55-inch model, and we expect the larger sizes to perform similarly. This TV is the successor to the R635, also known as the TCL 6 Series from last year. The 2021 6 Series has a pretty standard design, which looks very similar to last year's model. The stand is almost as wide as the TV, with some basic flaps for cable management on the back. There's about 3.5 inches between the screen and the table if you want to fit a soundbar in front. The inputs are located on the right-hand side. There's 4 HDMI ports, 2 of which are higher bandwidth HDMI 2.1 ports for 4K at 120 Hz signals, which we'll talk about later. One of these HDMI 2.1 ports is also used for eARC, or an enhanced audio return channel, that you can connect your receiver or soundbar to play sound from the TV through your external speakers. This unfortunately means that if you use this port for a soundbar, then there's only one HDMI 2.1 port remaining for a new console or PC. The back of the TV fits the VESA mount standard, so you can wall mount it for a cleaner look. It's somewhat bulky though, so it will stick out a bit. The build quality of the TV feels good. It's made of plastic and there's some flex in the panels, but nothing too surprising here. Now, let's talk about our test results. A high contrast ratio is important for deep dark scenes, which is good if you want to watch movies in the dark like a home theater environment. This TV has a VA-type panel and can produce very deep blacks, which is excellent for an immersive picture when viewed in the dark. This TV also has local dimming, which is a feature to further improve dark scenes for a better movie watching experience. The contrast with local dimming on our test pattern is very high, but we didn't actually find it to be as impressive when viewing a range of real scenes. It's still decent overall though, which isn't surprising as it's advertised with a mini LED backlight. You can adjust the local dimming between low and high, and we found that the high setting results in too much crushing of small details, while low is better for retaining details but is less impactful overall as the screen doesn't get completely black. Now, if you want to use the TV in a bright room, then a high peak brightness is important to overcome glare. The 6 Series has an excellent brightness, among the highest overall that we've tested, which makes it great for a room with lots of light. It can also use this brightness to produce bright highlights in newer high dynamic range or HDR content for an impactful HDR experience. When watching darker scenes in a bright room, it's really the reflectivity of the screen that has more impact than the brightness. You can see that the TV handles reflections very well, reducing the intensity of all incoming light. It also diffuses the reflections a bit, which many people like, as even if there are reflections, you're not distracted by the details of them. If you've got a wide seating arrangement or like to watch TV with family and friends, then good viewing angles help to ensure no one's left with a subpar image off to the side. Unfortunately, on this TV, the image quality drops dramatically when viewed off angle, so the image is really only best from directly in front. When watching sports or playing video games, a uniform screen brightness and color is important to avoid the appearance of clouding known as the dirty screen effect. This does vary between units, but we expect the R646 we bought to be about typical. It's actually surprisingly good. The edges are a bit darker, but it's not bad. This is a nice surprise, as previous TCLs used to have lots of issues with uniformity. When watching in the dark, the black uniformity is also good, so there aren't really any distracting bright areas, which is nice. If you're looking to buy a new TV because you want to watch high dynamic range or HDR content, then a wide color gamut is important to have an image that pops. This TV has a great wide color gamut, so it's great for those who like an image with extra saturation. Some TVs struggle to display smooth gradients, so when playing games that have smooth gradients like in the skies, some banding can be visible. For this 6 Series though, it isn't too much of a problem overall. We've found that certain shades do have some banding, but it's not a big issue, and there is also a gradation clear setting to smooth up any banding that might be present in the source content. Do note at the moment, the TV has issues upscaling 480p content, such as from DVDs and legacy sources. It transforms 480p signals to a resolution of 800 by 600 with a 4:3 aspect ratio, and the resulting image looks unnatural. TCL has indicated they intend to fix this though through a future software update. This shouldn't matter for most people, but if you still have a collection of DVDs you watch regularly or want to connect vintage game consoles, this TV isn't right for you at the moment. When playing fast-paced games, a fast response time is important for a clear image without distracting blur. The R646 has a fast response time overall. Depending on the dark scene, you might notice some light smearing in the form of overshoot, but this is pretty typical of most TVs and not really an issue. Also important for gaming or PC use is low input lag for a responsive feel. This TV has an excellent low input lag, especially when gaming at 120 Hz, where it's among the best we've tested. Speaking of gaming, this TV supports the complete range of signals from a new Xbox or PS5, including 4K at 120Hz on the HDMI 2.1 ports. This is excellent for those who want to be future-proof and results in a responsive experience and detailed image. It also supports variable refresh rates, which is great for a tear-free gaming experience. Now for the smart interface, and this is quite interesting. Typically, TCL has released TVs with the Roku Smart platform in North America. This year though, TCL has released a few TVs like this one with the Google TV interface. While we didn't really experience any bugs in our testing, a lot of people have been experiencing issues. While many of them are minor, small annoyances like bugs with the Wi-Fi setting and changing picture modes definitely can detract from the overall experience. TCL tends to be pretty responsive, so while we expect these to be fixed in a firmware update, we can't guarantee it. Besides this, there's a wide range of apps and the menus are easy to use and navigate. The sound of this TV is good, and actually a bit better than many of the TVs we've tested. It's still a TV speaker though, and not as good as an external soundbar or speakers, so if you really care about good sound, then an external speaker system is the way to go. So, this brings us to the main question: should you buy this TV? Well, it's nice to see that TCL is improving their models year over year, and this one really is great. This is impressive considering the low price when compared to TVs from Samsung, LG, or Sony with similar features and picture quality. If this suits your budget, go for it. If you don't mind spending more money, there are some other options though. If you've got a dark room, then you really can't beat an OLED like the LG C1. If you're a fan of Sony TVs for their picture processing and customization features, then check out the X95J, which also has the best local dimming we've seen on an LCD TV. Again though, both of these options will cost you more, so whether it's really worth it is up to you.